Step inside the cabin of the Jimny and what you get is a cabin that is familiar to other Maruti Suzuki cars but is also familiar to the Gypsy, and that starts with the instrument cluster here. Now if you are someone who is familiar with the layout of the Gypsy, this dual pod setup that you get here for the instrument cluster, that is reminiscent of the Gypsy. So yes, that heritage is clearly visible here. The instrument cluster, of course, it's a combination of analog and digital with the digital screen in the between. Serves the purpose, clear readouts, no problems at all. What you have here is again the Smart Play touchscreen infotainment system. Familiar system, already seen it on Grand Vitara, Baleno, Brezza, very similar, works well, it's got good resolution, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, easy to use. Beyond that, if I talk about the dashboard layout, it's got a very functional dashboard. It's got minimalistic design approach, so there's no fancy frills around it, which is perfectly fine for an off-road vehicle. It is very, very functional. So for your co-passenger, when you're going off-road, it's got this place where you can hold and keep yourself stable. So that's a nice addition, and it's got a very solid feel to it. Beyond that, I think the plastic quality, the texture they've given on the dashboard is fine. It's not great, but it's not bad as well. You've got these small rectangular AC vents here, the circular ones on the side. The air conditioning, by the way, works very nicely in the vehicle. It's a hot day here around Dehradun in this forest area, but still the AC is performing brilliantly and the car is cooling down very quickly. Also, if you look at the climate control here, it's got this circular layout, looks nice, easy to use. The button here, you've got the button for the driver side window and one on the other side for the co-passenger side. There's a button for hill descent and there's a button for traction control. The seat themselves, well, I would say the seat is fairly comfortable up front. Space is good. Head clearance, again, good amount of head clearance. And so yes, shoulder space is also fine. It's a functional and comfortable cabin, but there are some downsides to it as well. In terms of practicality, there are some things which could have been improved. Now, for example, the door pockets up front are pretty much useless. You can't keep anything else more than some papers. No kind of water bottles will fit in. Up front here also you've got just enough space to probably have the key fob. So again, finding place to keep your smartphone or something or your wallet, that's going to be tricky. There is no center armrest. You have cup holders here. Interestingly, like I said, the buttons for the windows are here. For these windows are here, but for the back, for the driver, you've got the buttons here, and for the passengers at the back, the buttons are on the doors where you expect them. So yes, I mean, in terms of usability, practicality, it could have been a little better, but then again, hey, it's a lifestyle vehicle primarily meant for off-road. But let's check out the rear seat and see how good or bad is it back there. Once in the back seat of the Jimny, you quickly realize that the functional approach of the cabin that continues, because you will realize that there's no fancy stuff anywhere here. In terms of space, well, it's good. With the driver's seat adjusted to my driving preference and I'm 5 feet 8 inches, you can see I have a good amount of knee room to spare, good leg room. So that's perfectly fine. Headroom again, well, if you are even 6 feet tall, I don't think you would be brushing your head against the ceiling of the car. The seat, well, the seat is just about okay. I mean, it's a small car, so it's not a very wide seat. So first of all, if you're going to have 3 people sitting here, the person in middle is not going to be happy. There's a high transmission tunnel here and the seat is not wide, so 3 will be quite a stuff. But for 2 occupants, I think the space is fine. The cushioning of the seat is okay. The problem with the seat is that there is very little or almost no under thigh support, and this can be quite a bother on long drives. In terms of backrest, well, you can adjust it and increase the recline. This is the maximum recline you can get. Not bad, but not very comfortable either. So yes, it's a functional cabin. You can have 4 or 5 people sitting in here, but this is not a vehicle that I would recommend for people to be going out on long drives, especially if you're going to be in this seat for a long time. But yes, for short runs, it does the job.